Evil Dead Burns 2026 official trailer reaction. Hey everyone, it's Gilbert.K here. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about one of the most talked about horror trailers of the year, Evil Dead Burn. And let me tell you, if you thought Evil Dead Rise was wild, if you thought the 2013 Evil Dead pushed things to the limit, this trailer just looked at both of them and said, hold my chainsaw. Now, before we jump in, if you're a fan of horror movies, movie trailers, series, filmmaking, behind the scenes stories, and everything happening in Hollywood, make sure you hit that subscribe button because we've got a lot to talk about. Let's get into it. The very first thing that jumped at me, this trailer feels mean. And I mean that in the best possible way. There's something uncomfortable about it, something dirty, something chaotic, something that makes you feel like absolutely nobody's safe. And that has always been part of the DNA of the Evil Dead franchise. But this trailer feels like it's taken that idea and cranking it up even further. The trailer immediately throws us into a family gathering that quickly becomes a nightmare. Instead of a peaceful reunion, we get what many horror fans are already calling a family reunion from hell. And honestly, that's a great setup because family gatherings are already stressful enough. Now imagine adding Deadites. No, thank you. Sebastian Vanecek is the perfect choice. One of the reasons horror fans are excited about is because this movie is directed by Sebastian Vanecek. If that name sounds familiar, it's because of his breakout horror film Infested. That movie surprised a lot of people. It was intense, it was relentless, and it showed he knows how to create tension without relying on cheap tricks. In fact, franchise creator Sam Raimi was reportedly impressed enough with Infested to bring Vanecek into the Evil Dead universe. That's a pretty big vote of confidence when the guy who created Evil Dead says, yeah, I trust this filmmaker. People pay attention. This doesn't look like a copy of Evil Dead Rise. One thing I was worried about before watching the trailer was whether they were simply going to repeat the formula from Evil Dead Rise. Thankfully, it doesn't look like that's the case. The setting feels different, the atmosphere feels different, the dynamic feels different. The trailer appears to lean heavily into grief and loss before everything goes completely off the rails. That emotional angle could make the horror hit even harder because the best horror movies aren't just scary. They make you care about the people before they start screaming. The Deadites look absolutely terrifying. Can we talk about Deadites for a sec? Nightmare fuel, pure nightmare fuel. There are shots in this trailer that are going to stick with horror fans for a long time. The twisted faces, the creepy smiles, the unnatural movements, the possession scenes, everything feels wrong. And that's exactly what you want from an Evil Dead movie. The trailer even shows levitating Deadites and some absolutely insane sequences that look like they were designed specifically to make audiences squirm in their seats. Mission accomplished. Because I was uncomfortable watching, and I mean that as a compliment. The cinematography looks crazy good. Now, for the film fans watching this channel, can we appreciate how good this thing looks? There are moments in the trailer that feel like a horror roller coaster. The camera is constantly moving, the energy never stops. The visuals feel larger than life. One sequence in particular appears to play out almost like a continuous shot, which gives everything a frantic feeling. It makes you feel trapped, like you're stuck in a nightmare with the characters. That's effective filmmaking. Is this connected to the bigger Evil Dead universe? Here's where things gets interesting. Some eagle-eyed fans believe this movie may have stronger connections to previous Evil Dead stories than initially expected. Reports suggest there are references and possible callbacks to earlier films and even the TV universe. Now, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but if you've been following Evil Dead for years, keep your eyes open. There may be more going on here than just another standalone story. And if that's true, horror fans are going to lose their minds. What excites me the most, the things that excite me the most is in the blood. It's not the monsters, it's not even the jump scares. It's the confidence. This trailer doesn't look like a movie trying to play it safe. It feels like a filmmaker swinging for the fences. Vanecek has said he wanted to create a visceral experience that leaves audiences emotionally and physically exhausted. And based on this trailer, I believe him. This looks like one of those horror movies people will be talking about after they leave the theater. The kind where you sit in your car afterward and think, what did I just watch? Fun facts. This is the 6th theatrical Evil Dead movie. The film is produced by Evil Dead legends Sam Raimi and Rob Tappert. Executive producers include Bruce Campbell and Lee Cronin. The movie stars Suhaila Yacoub in what looks like a physically demanding lead role. The film is scheduled to hit theaters in July 2026. Final thoughts. This trailer absolutely delivered. It feels brutal. It feels intense, it feels unpredictable, and most importantly, it feels like Evil Dead. Not a copy, not a remake, not a greatest hits collection, its own thing. And that's exactly what this franchise needs. Right now, Evil Dead Burn has moved way up from most anticipated horror movies list for 2026. Will be the best Evil Dead movie ever made? We don't know. But after watching this trailer, I can tell you one thing. I'm buying a ticket. Day one. No question. And if the movie is even half as crazy as this trailer, we're in for one wild ride. Let me know in the comments below, was Evil Dead Burn the best horror trailer you've ever seen this year? Where does it rank compared to Evil Dead Rise? And which scene from the trailer freaked you out the most? That's all, folks. Thank you for watching. And that's my Evil Dead Burn 2026 official trailer reaction. Don't forget to check other episodes on my channel and all podcast platforms for the latest film series reviews, trailer reactions, and exclusive film industry interviews packed with tips, inspiration, and recommendations. More stories, more insights, and more movie magic waiting for you. See you next one. Until next time, Gilbert K. out.